Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's Up, Cuz? I am your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance Irvin. Oh, look at us. Boy, I must say, we look pretty damn good, if I may say so myself, Lance Irvin.
You know what, cuz we trying a little bit. I could kind of get used to this, but I still like when you come on with your jerseys, though. But your sport coat is nice, though. It's
I
not
like
as
it
nice
not.
as mine, though, but it's nice, though.
But see, I like the coordination we have here. I like you went with the white top and the blue blazer, and I went with the blue shirt and the white blazer. And the best part is we really didn't even coordinate this.
Bright minds think alike. I don't know if I like these glasses. I might have to change my glasses at some point in time, though. But Jay, I mean, why are we wearing sport coats anyway? Cuz
Today is a big day, man.
what's the big day? Because my wife got on me. Leave it to the wives to say something. But I'll let you explain what day it is. And I'm going to tell you what Paula said.
Well, today we are celebrating our birthday. Today, What's Up, Cuz turns 2 years old, or as my Spanish teacher taught me, dos años. we are two. We have turned two, Lance Irvin. Can you believe this? We're going into our third year. We're no longer underclassmen.
We done moved up a little bit, and we so much so upperclassmen. I forgot to put in my headphones, but I do it at the break. But your cousin Paula said, see, leave it up to you and Jason and not do the stuff right. She said, if y'all would have told Sharice and I, we would have had some stuff coming from the ceiling, balloons, confetti, balloons, and bottles of champagne. But I told cousin Jason, I do the best that we can do.
We do. But I gotta tell you, your background is on point right now. I mean, you look like you're in an actual studio. We no longer see Pistons jerseys in the background and all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, you look like a professional journalist, so to speak.
You know what? Thank you. But one, I guess, has ties to the Pistons, so I probably should have bought out that jersey because his brother used to play for the Pistons and won a world championship. But I'm not going to talk about his brother. But Jay, I appreciate it. You don't look, like I said, I like the dress outfit. Maybe once a month, every 2 months, we flip the script and put on a sport coat or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. We may need to do that. But hey, let's say hello to everyone who's tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in to watch What's Up, Cuz. I am Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, Lancey Irvin. Tonight, as we come to you from the Chicago area to talk to you about everything that's going on in the world of sports, we appreciate those of you who are watching us on our brand new Sports Zone Chicago Roku channel. Those of you watching us in Roku around the world, hello. Keep tuning in. We got more fun coming up. If you're watching us on the Sports Zone Chicago YouTube channel, we appreciate you watching us as well. And make sure you send your questions and comments into the show or wish us a happy birthday or tell Lance you like his sport coat or whatever you want to do. And if you're also keeping track with us on Facebook Live, go ahead and type in your comments there. And if you have the Sports Zone Chicago app, which if you don't, I don't know why you don't, just put it on your phone, people. My cousin Lance is getting ready to tell you how you can put it on your phone.
Put on your phone at the iTunes store, Amazon store, and the Google Play store. And once again, we appreciate you watching us, Jay. But you remember the one time you got me? I was a little slow when you could find us, and you blasted me. Ever since then, I've been on my game.
You have. You've been on your game. It took 2 years for you to figure out where to download that. But you are now on your game. Again, you're no longer underclass with this. You are now a junior in the journalism profession. Did you ever think you'd be doing this instead of coaching as much as you do?
You know what, Jay? Truthfully, I thought this would last for about 5-6 months for you and I. And
damn, thanks for the confidence, cuz.
But it's fun, and you teaching me a lot of stuff that I needed to know, so I appreciate you. And also, we get a lot of compliments. Like, I got a compliment this weekend. I was at my little niece's graduation party, and somebody was like, I follow you and Jason podcast, and you guys bringing on guests that we want to see, and bringing on different people saying different things that we want to hear in the world of sports. So we get compliments and we didn't even know it. Well, I know it. I don't know if you know it. But with that being said, because I'm having fun, we're having a great time, and let's keep this going.
I agree. I agree. As we enter year 3, we are having a blast with this. And you just mentioned we got some great guests. And, for our third year show kickoff, we had to bring the heat. So we got 3 top-notch guests tonight. So we need to let the people know who we got coming on. All right?
You know what, cuz first we have my man, the mayor of Benton Harbor. This young fella used to shoot the 3 when he played at DePaul University. And like I said, he's the mayor of Benton Harbor, my man. Marcus Muhammad. Now, he swear he could shoot the ball, Jay. I told him he's a better politician than he is shooter. But we have him coming on. That's the mayor right there. The mayor's doing some great things in Benton.
He's looking all mayoral, too. Look at that photo. Ooh, I like that suit.
You see his suit, and the man used to coach at Benton Harbor High School, and he knows about sports. He played AAU when he was growing up. Just when AAU got started, he was on the cusp of that. Came out with some really good players. So we have him. We also, my man, my little brother, Rodney Billups. Rodney Billups is fresh off of helping the Portland Trail Blazers win their Summer League championship. So Rodney is on the show. They just won last week. He was in Vegas for 13 days. So we asked him to be on the show and tell us about his experience. And Jay, they got nice rings too. We should tell him bring his ring so we can see the ring.
You didn't know they got rings?
They got, Jason, nice rings too.
Oh, nice. My goodness. I did not know that. Okay.
I'm going to send you the picture. We're going to ask him if he can bring it on the show. Then who's our last guest, cuz? Because you know I love me some football too.
You do love her. You do love you some football. And Bears training camp starts tomorrow. And so we reached out to our contacts over at the Bigs, our guy Eugene McIntosh, and all the good guys over at the Bigs. And we got their football beat reporter, our good friend Herb Howard. He is coming on the show at 7:30 to talk Bears football, what's going on the field. And Lord have mercy, we got to talk about some stuff going on off the field with the Bears as well. They just breaking news all over the place. But I'm going to save that because it's just too much. And we got to give all these other topics their just due because we got some really, really good topics to talk about.
Jay, there's so much going on in the world of sports these days, cuz it's almost hard to keep up with everything. That's why people need to watch What's Up, cuz with Lance and Jason, so we can keep the people informed of what's going on. But it's been a crazy week, cuz crazy.
It has. But we're gonna start off tonight's show with some excellent news because it is our birthday. So let's talk what happened out in Oregon. For the last 10 days, the United States track and field dominated the world championships, coming home with 33 medals, 13 gold medals, 9 silver medals, 11 bronze medals. And because we are our show and we take care of our guests, we're going to give a shout out to our former guest, Texas A&M alum, Chicago Lindblom alumni, Shamir Little, who finished in 4th place in the women's 400-meter hurdles. She just missed bringing home some hardware, but when you're in the field with Sydney McLaughlin, I mean, come on. The woman's setting world records all over the damn place.
Hey, Jason, and it's like when you watch her run, like she gets out the block so fast. Then when she hits the turns, right? She hits the turn and you look and you like, is she like 15, 20 minutes ahead of everybody? She makes it look like she's cruising. And Shamir was running her best too. Like I was like, come on, Shamir, right there. You know how you hoping, and I almost said to myself, just dive. I was like, make it close, just dive. But this young lady, Jay, every time she touches the track, it seems like she's breaking her own record. I mean, I don't know, and she's still young. What's your thoughts on her, cuz?
She's 23. She hadn't even hit her peak. And she's already setting records. She already owns this 400-meter hurdle event. I think of Edwin Moses back in the day. Remember Edwin Moses? He used to own that 400-meter hurdle on the men's side. I think Cindy McLaughlin is now taking that over. And then not only did she win that, but she jumped in the USA 400-meter relay last night and anchored them home in that. So she picked up 2 gold medals at the World Championships. But just overall, the United States team, I'm gonna give credit where credit is due because last year, if you remember, at the Olympics, we were not good. We were not good at all. But this year, the USA kicked the ass and is taking names. So let's just put it out there and give them their props, Lance, because they won in the 100-meter relay for both the men and the women. And that was without knucklehead Sha'Carri Richardson, who couldn't even make the team.
I'm not calling her knucklehead.
I am. So we won the sprints. We won. We swept the 100 meters in the men's. We swept the 100 meter in the men's. We also swept the USA shot put. The men in the USA shot put. They swept that one. First, second, and third in that one as well. Our guy Moo ran the 800 meters. She won that one. That was a hell of a race. She had to fight off the girl from Great Britain in the end, but she won that one. She was the first American woman to ever win a gold medal in that race at the World Championships. So she made history. I mean, they were just absolutely on fire on that track, man.
You know what, Jay? I watched the 200 meters also, and I think we swept that with Noah Lyles and Kung Fu Kid and those guys. And if you sit there and watch, Jay, I think we talked about this last year. You trained for years for a race to be over in 10.8, 11, 12 seconds, right?
Right.
And for those guys to be as fast as they are, Jay, at the World Championship, if I'm them, I'm calling the track and field and saying we need to have every World Championship in Eugene on this fast track. Because it seems like that track brings out the best in us. World records are being shattered. And we need Sudi on to tell us, how can you create a fast track? How do you do that?
Yeah, it was interesting just to see the amount of records that are shattered and how well Team USA did. I mean, it was definitely a home field advantage for them because, we saw them last year in Tokyo. And I know a lot of that was because of COVID. They may not have been able to train the way, but, they were not good. And track and field is just our sport that we're supposed to dominate in. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. The Jamaicans are very good at sprinting.
I was just about to say that. Shelly Ann Price has something else to say now.
Yeah, it's true. Now, but don't get me wrong now. They're good in the sprints and they're good in the relays. But once they get to them longer distances and they get to them field events, they're not the threat that everybody thinks everybody thinks they are. So, USA, we got a medal in javelin, the women's javelin. I mean, we're just going all over the place. I think we won the men's 400-meter flat. The brother won that. So they were just on fire. It was very, very impressive. I was very happy to see Team USA go out there and kick butt the way they did.
Yeah, true. And anytime you win a medal, like I said, people train their whole life for these things. And to be able to win and you competing against the athletes at the highest level, cuz that means something.
I agree. So congratulations once again to the USA track and field people, both the men's and the women. They really, really, really did a great job. But hey, let's talk about what else was happening this weekend, because I think something was going on out there on the south side that you decided that you were going to participate in.
If I think I know what you're talking about, one of our former players who's like a nephew to me, which is a friend of the show, which, special announcement, he'll be on in a couple of weeks. Talk to him about that. IO Do Sumo had a camp, Jay, and they really didn't publicize the camp, right? So, went out there, had about 100 kids out there. It was a great experience. I get a text like, we having a camp, I said, okay, let me go show nephew some love. Just his father, his mother, Jam, his sisters were out there. You see, oh Lord, there go your cousin Cindy.
Put that photo back. Look at my cousin Cindy. Cindy Irvin, she gonna get her photo in.
Cindy gonna get her photo in. But just to see what IO is doing for the community, he had a friend that got shot and killed years ago. So he dedicated his camp and stuff to him. The Chicago Bulls came out. The alderman was out there. Pastor Harris, who runs a church in the neighborhood, he was out there. It was a great experience just to see little kids out there shooting basketball, everybody smiling, Jay. They had little arts and crafts section. They gave out food. They had spin the wheel. They had different stuff. It was a nice experience, and I'm proud of Io because he's giving back to the community. Next year, we need to have you out there, cuz.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I will definitely get out there next year. I didn't know about the camp either. It was like such short notice. And next year, he's got to come on the show so we can give him the pub. Jesus Christ, what was he? That's what we got a whole platform for. I don't know what I was thinking.
I said, nephew, you should have said something. But then I told Q, but they really didn't publicize. And then next year they said they was gonna get the word out. But it was a great experience. We had a ball.
Yeah, I bet it was. How many kids would you say you all had out there? And which park did it take place at?
It was at least 100 kids. It was at Metcalf Park on 43rd and State. It was outside, Jay. And here go the thing about outside and how the man upstairs works. So it started at 10. It rained about, Jay, 10 minutes before 10 and it stopped. So the camp sunlight came out. From 10 to 12:30 when the camp was over, it didn't rain. At 1:15, it started raining again. So I'm just saying, though, camp was able to come through. So the man upstairs probably knew what he was doing. Didn't rain until camp was over with. So just seeing kids out there smiling, Jay, 100 kids playing knockout, working on their dribbling and stuff like that. It was a great camp. I always have fun. Anytime I'm around kids, I have a great time.
That's
and for
great,
Io to take time out of his day and his family, that meant a lot to the kids out there.
I'm sure it did, man. Anytime we can get our kids in Chicago involved in positive activities, I absolutely love that. Anything we can do to keep them safe, keep them engaged and stuff, really, really this positive stuff is good because that's one less kid we have to worry about at that time getting caught up in something that is not positive. So I was glad to hear that you all had the camp. It's good to see the community engagement. And, now that, we're starting to get back to doing some things out in the community, since they're kind of getting a little bit of a handle on this COVID thing, it's really, really good to see that. So I'm just so happy to hear that you all were able to get out there and do that with Io Dosunmu. He's just a great kid. The whole family is really great. So really happy to see that. So our next topic, we got some news that happened after our show last week. There was a big announcement made by the city. And cuz we got a new sport coming to Chicago, something we're not used to. Well, technically we're not used to it. But let's tell everybody what we got coming here.
Well,
let's see.
Well, we have.
Lance, that is not your cousin speeding away from the cops like he did back in 1991. But there is good news. NASCAR is coming to Chicago. There's going to be an actual NASCAR race driving through the streets of downtown Chicago. I say we should leave the potholes in the way to make it a real race. But people say no. They're gonna put down a track, but we're going to have a NASCAR race in downtown Chicago. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's a great idea. I want to see how they gonna transform the streets. Like, I like NASCAR. That's something I said I was gonna try to follow a little bit more. I was on a recruiting trip in Daytona, Florida years ago, Jay. So I stayed a couple of miles away from the track, and I'm like, what's all this noise? So the lady was like, the track is like a mile or two away. I have never seen a track that big because of my life. They said it seats like 150,000 people. Like, the track's still going on. I might be off by 100,000. Great track. Oh, man, Jay, I can't wait. I'm trying to get me a ticket so I can go.
Well, I'm ready to go too. And it's one of those things where, we've criticized the mayor a lot, and we got some criticism for her later. But, this is one thing I think the city of Chicago is doing right. You're bringing one of the major sports out here that's coming into Chicago that's going to do a race in Chicago. And when we have Mayor Mohammed on in about 10 minutes, he can tell you about the importance of bringing sporting events to your city and what it can generate. So, I'm looking forward to talking to him about that. But NASCAR has never done anything in Chicago. It's going to be downtown, about a 2-mile trek of streets that they're going to create a racetrack out of. And I just think this is going to be great for Chicago. You're bringing tourism. You'll be able to show off the city. And it's something fresh and new that we haven't experienced before. And God knows we need the money too. So,
yeah, I mean, Jay, I think the key is you just said we need something fresh and new. Why not try something different? It's been done in some other cities, I assume. But with that being said, though, let's bring some more tours, show off the beautiful city, and let's try something new. You see, I've never been to a NASCAR race. I'm excited to go. Trust and believe. I'm calling you, so call some of your contacts. Tell them your cousin need a ticket. We need to go to the race.
Well, I've already done that, and guess what? You and I talked. We talked. No, I do not have a ticket for myself. But we did when we found out that this thing was being announced. I did reach out to the people at NASCAR. They're very receptive of sending us someone who's going to come on our show. So in a few weeks, we are going to get Brad Doherty on What's Up, Cuz. Yes, that Brad Doherty.
Did you say Brad Dockery or Brad Doherty?
I said Brad Doherty. You probably know him from the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You don't mean Cleveland Cavaliers. You don't mean race car Brad Doherty, do you?
Yes, I do. Brad Doherty.
Shut it down.
He is he's an announcer for NASCAR.
He is.
And so he's going to come on. We reached out to NASCAR. We said, look, we black people from Chicago, we don't know jack about this. so y'all gonna have to send us somebody who can talk to our community. Don't send me Kyle Petty. Send me somebody that my people can say, oh, I know this dude. So yes, Brad Doherty, we're gonna get him on What's Up, Cuz in the coming weeks. The race is not until July of it's the first weekend in July of next year. But we will get him on the show. And Lord, are we going to have a bunch of questions because we don't know jack about NASCAR. But what I can tell you is that this is part of the point series. This is not an exhibition. So this is part of the point series. So these dudes are going to be doing some incredible driving. This is serious business. This is serious business. And so we also have a video. So what NASCAR did was they've been working on this thing for about 4 or 5 years. And last June, they came to Chicago and they kind of mapped out the track, kind of like, how they do the Google Maps. And sometimes you'll see the Google car driving around the neighborhood as they taking pictures and et cetera. So they did one of those things and they kind of mapped up what a track would be like. So we have a video of the actual racetrack and what it will be like. So we're going to share that with you all right now.
Boy, you are doing it today for the anniversary. You pulling out tricks from everywhere.
All right. We got a video. Let's play that video.
All right, well, lucky for us, we did see the Chicago Street Course ran on iRacing with the NASCAR Cup Series drivers getting in that a couple years ago. But now we're going to break down a lap around this street course. It will be 12 corners, as we said before, 2.2 miles. So let's see what the streets of Chicago will look like. Latart and KP, break it down for me.
Well, it starts right here at KP. Double file restarts perhaps into this left-hander. You're going to have to concede at some point. Not a lot of runoff room. I think that's going to have to be single thread. But if you are on the outside, it'll give you position over here to the right-hander.
Yeah, but look how blind this right-hander is, as you talked before. You're on the opposite side of the cart. You've got to swing back and get yourself in position. If you're on the inside right there, that's a tough corner to make no matter what gear you're in.
This is a crew chief's dream, a kind of a long sweeping double right-hander. I believe I can give my driver a better car than someone else. That's an area that you can overtake. This is kind of up to the drivers. Back-to-back 90s. You're going to have to figure it out, and figure it out in a hurry because KP, I think this is a major passing zone, heavy braking left-hand corner.
This is a braveness tester right here. How willing are you to push and push the issue going into this corner? You're on the left side. You know where you're at. You know what you've got to do. But you're going to hang that guy out, and that guy's going to get hung out bad.
And then this is a big point of concern for the teams. How are you going to navigate from 4 lanes to 2 on those right-handers? I love it. It's the same for everyone. Now we just had a sweeping right-hander. Now we're going to sweeping left-hander. Thanks a lot. I have my car set up to turn right. Now we're going left. Back into a right-hander, really right-hand dominant as we see at most road courses.
Yeah, really right-hand dominant. But you look at this, there's a topo change. We're going up over a bridge. These things get a little light as you come down. You're braking hard here, you're hanging rights. Again, these blind corners are fascinating to me, and it's a blind right-hand corner. So I think the visuals of this racetrack are something like we've never seen before.
You know what it provides I saw in that last corner, though? If I'm to your bumper, I like my chances better than yours.
Is that cool or what, Lance Irvin?
Hey, cuz I'm sitting here like, you have to be a very good skilled driver to handle that course.
I don't know, man. We got some Shanikas driving some Hyundai Sonatas in Chicago. They're making these dudes a run for their money. You know, Chicago people ain't no poke on the damn Ryan.
No, that right. Well, yeah, true. But that's a whole different level because you sliding from left to right, a double right here, left here. You got to, oh my goodness. I can't wait. I
mean, this is going to be incredible. You know, and so people are concerned. Don't worry, they're not going to crash into the bean or anything like that. There will be concrete barriers put up. You know, it's not going to destroy anything in the city. You know, but it's going to be. And so I think this thing is going to be way bigger than the city can even anticipate because you know and I know it's the first time they're doing something and just people's natural curiosity is going to draw them downtown. They'll be like, you know what? I got to see this. Hey, these fools about to be driving through the street. Okay, yeah, I'm about to go down there. So I don't even know how they're going to do with crowd control.
No, and Jay, I heard people saying something about it's going to cut off, it's going to have a lot of traffic for them setting up. And I said to myself, we've been working on the Eisenhower since Ricky was a freshman. And she graduated from college. We've been working on the Eisenhower for 8 years now. And you want to talk to me about traffic? I don't want to hear it, cuz. So now let's set up, let's do something fresh and new, and let's see about it. It's interesting. Like you said, I mean, I think a lot of people going to show up, not only from Chicago, Indiana, the surrounding area states. They'll come out and watch.
Yeah, it's going to be huge for the hotel industry, the restaurant industry. I mean, this is going to be huge for Chicago. And, you know, I personally cannot wait to see it. So, all right, we are coming up on our first commercial break on the first show of year 3. Happy birthday to the What's Up, cuz. We're so happy. But we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're coming back with the mayor of Benton Harbor, Michigan, Mayor Muhammad. He's going to join us. I wonder if he can get a NASCAR race in Benton Harbor. We're going to talk to him about that.
And you know what? We might as well ask him because, you know, the mayor is willing and able to do different things. We're going to ask him.
Yeah, we have to see. So everybody stay tuned. You're watching What's Up, cuz. We'll see you in about 60 seconds. Welcome back, everybody. You are tuned into What's Up, cuz. I am your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance Irvin. We are dressed up because it is a special occasion as we begin our 3rd year broadcasting here on the Sports Zone Chicago Network. And we are now on Roku. Roku channel, the Sports Zone Roku channel. Don't forget, download that on your Roku at home. Put the channel right next to Netflix, doggone it, because I know you're watching that. So put us right next to Netflix so you know, let me click on Sports Zone Chicago so I can watch Lance and Jason and Jamar Harp and Lakina and Sean show and the Smoke Fellas and all the great shows we got. But hey, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to our first guest. Boy, this is only the second politician we've ever had on our show. And so you got to be really special to be a politician and make it on our show. Usually because we're talking about politicians. so you got to be really special for us to say, yes, we want this guy as a guest. You tell everybody a little bit about this guy before we bring him on.
You know, the next young man coming up, Jay, is a former player at DePaul University. Matter of fact, he's from Benton Harbor High School, the city of Benton Harbor. He was on a team that has some really good players, and I go into a story when I really first met him. But he's been doing great things for the city of Benton Harbor. He's improving his infrastructure and doing a lot of things, and he thinks he's one of the best shooters that ever came out of Michigan. So I got a couple of questions for him. So let's bring out the mayor, Marcus Muhammad, my man.
There he is, Mayor Muhammad. How you doing, man? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be on the show. It's an honor to be with my coach, Coach Lance Irvin, who we go way back like Stacks and Cadillac.
You know, Mark, Jay, before you fire the first question, I knew he was going to come on here with a suit, but I have to say this. The first time I met Marcus, we was at camp. I think it was like Eastern Michigan, right? So, you know, Marcus, they was out there, you know, Michigan had a crew. So I kept hearing, at. And I was like, them guys better be able to play. I think it was you. Was it Willie? Who was it? Willie Mitchell? Was it Todd out there with you?
Yeah, so Todd ended up going to Syracuse. Willie went to Michigan, of course, DePaul. Carlos went to UAB. Corey went to Tulane, and Prentice went to Cal with Todd Bozeman. So we had a wrecking crew. That was the ABCD camp, coach. Sonny Vaccaro, you know, went with Converse.
So who from Chicago was out there? Was it Antoine? Was it Twine out there that year? Who from Chicago? Was it Jerry G and them? I can't remember.
They was a year behind.
Yeah,
a couple years actually behind me. Yeah. So Chicago, it wasn't a lot of Chicago representation in the '93. I think Rashard maybe went to Nike because that was the year they split it.
But Jay, them guys went to talking and back. They talked up, Jay. I was like, them guys right there for real. But I just had to say that. Go ahead, Jay. I'll let you fire the first question.
Hey, Mayor Muhammad, we really appreciate you coming on, and you've been listening to kind of some of the things we were talking about, and we were just talking about, you know, the NASCAR coming to Chicago. As a mayor of a city, talk to me a little bit about how important it is to have sports franchises coming to your city and what it does for your constituents when you have a professional sports team or a big event like this.
Well, I think one of the things that cities in this new era, post-COVID, quote unquote, we have to be very creative in how we market our cities and how we utilize the resources, the assets, so we can bring economic development, and we can also bring people, because buildings is one thing, but when you can attract people to your city, that opens up the floodgates of opportunity. And I think that for the city of Chicago in 2022 to host the NASCAR, that's huge. And I think that we have to learn to diversify. You know, we went after the Olympics in 2016 and did not get it. And Chicago, that really, Coach and Brother Palmer, if Chicago could have gotten the 2016 Olympics, it would have changed the trajectory of that entire city and what it looks like today. So that's just the power of having a major event. And you had players, Obama, you had Daley, they tried to get George. You know, everybody wanted it because they understood that Chicago, especially at that time, really needed it. So the NASCAR is kind of like a consolation prize, but it's a start.
When you talked about Mark, you said it would have changed the city a little bit. Talk to us about how it could have changed the dynamics of the city from like a financial standpoint and things like that.
Well, I know that there were plans to use the Olympics to rebuild nearly all of the West Side. And it was also going to reach back into Bronzeville and even the city of Benton Harbor, because you can get to Chicago in a boat 90 minutes, 60 minutes, depending upon what type. But Benton Harbor was going to be one of the satellite cities that was going to be used to house Olympians. So from an economic development standpoint, from a business standpoint, from an exposure standpoint, globally, I mean, you know, corporate sponsorships, nonprofits. I mean, it was a big miss. But I think that she can recover, but it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take events like the NASCAR and others to come behind it to build it back up.
Wow.
Well, you know, with that said, Mayor, you know, the other news here in Chicago, we're going to talk about it more in depth with our 7:30 guest, but since we have you on, we want to talk to you about it. Obviously, you've heard the Chicago Bears have purchased property out in Arlington Heights and are planning on leaving the city limits. And today, Mayor Lightfoot came forward with her proposal to I don't even know how to describe, redevelop Soldier Field again. But the cost would be anywhere between $900 million and $2 billion. And, you know, as a mayor, how do you balance that out with these sports teams now when they want these facilities? You know, when you try to balance out the benefits of having a sports team, but also putting the cost on your constituents who got to vote for you, you know, what do we do with that?
I mean, if Chicago loses the Chicago Bears, that would be like losing a kidney on so many levels.
Okay.
You know, the Chicago. So if you look at it from a branding standpoint, you can't even think of Chicago without thinking of Soldier Field. So I think that the best minds will prevail. I cannot see the owners not being able to come to some type of compromise with the city in order to keep the Chicago Bears in the city of Chicago. I think it's some political wrangling going on and some decisions that have to be made up top in order to keep them there. It's going to be some tough decisions. But I think that it's in the best interest, most definitely, of the future of Chicago. Dallas lost the Dallas Cowboys. I spoke with a developer who came to the city of Benton Harbor that was looking at Benton Harbor for some restaurant and nightlife development, but he talked about how it impacted and really put a huge hole in the city of Dallas by them losing the Cowboys. So I think that Mayor Lightfoot and the business community need to look at that and not allow for something tragic like that to happen to the city of Chicago.
I tell you what, see, that's why we had to have the mayor on, Jason. I see you woke up. See, we try to bring people on the show that's heavy and knowledgeable. But let me ask you this, Mayor, too. You used to coach high school at Benton Harbor. What made you leave from coaching? Because you did an excellent job. You left from coaching, then you go to politics. What led that?
Well, I think that when I came back to the city of Benton Harbor and Coach Wilson Chandler and helped him, he went on to DePaul, and Joy Bell, who played for for the Lions, and we had another young man go to Illinois, Rodney Alexander.
Mhm.
But I saw the need was greater than just a basketball program,
Okay.
that the city was in great need of leadership. And residents began to push me to look at the possibility of how I could help the community on a larger scale than just the basketball program.
Mhm.
And, we ran, we won, and the rest is history. But we've been blessed, Coach, to really do some great things. Right now, we're 80% near completion and removing all lead service lines in the
Mhm.
city of Benton Harbor, which will be the first city in the state of Michigan to be 100% lead free and have every lead line out of the ground. And if I was the basketball coach, we may not be in that position. So I'm grateful for that beginning, but I'm even more grateful for the opportunity and what's ahead of us.
You know what? And then also, let me ask you this. You understand sports and you play sports. How can sports help the city of Benton Harbor, not only from elementary school, but high school?
Well, it gives our young, especially Black males,
Mhm.
but today our young women need it more than anything as well. But it gives them that outlet. For
Mhm.
me, it was an opportunity. I know you're familiar with the notorious B.I.G. He said that the streets was a shortstop. Either you selling crack rock
Or you
or slinging crack rock, or you got the wicked jump
wicked
shot.
jump shot.
So that is an avenue. That was a way where I could get out of the quote unquote hood
Mhm.
and also learn leadership skills and leadership abilities where I can use them in my own life. People like Coach Will Height, Coach Harvey,
Mhm.
for Benton Harbor were, like Coach Landon Cox and Coach Hambrick and
Mhm.
many other great luminaries who helped to shape people like yourself, Coach Pittman. These are the type of role models that our young Black men and women need in their lives today to give them that guidance in that direction. So sports is a tool, and we want to keep cultivating it in the city.
Marcus, I think what's your thoughts on name, image, and likeness? Do you think athletes should profit? Because your group, the guys you just named from Michigan, you guys probably would have hit it just right if you came out. Do you have any thoughts on name, image, and likeness?
So I can remember the Great Midwest, which we were at that time.
Mhm.
DePaul was in the Great Midwest Conference USA, and I had just did a little research, Coach, and learned that Conference USA made like 300 million. And you do know that initial lawsuit, the O'Bannon brothers
Mhm.
were one of the first to step forward and tell the NCAA that the profiteering, the sports pimping,
Mhm.
where athletes are being used and coaches and shoe contracts and
Mhm.
big companies are getting away and making all the money. I just watched the documentary on AM1 and I could have cried. But it's a familiar song because most of our entertainers, most of our athletes, when the song is all done, when the ball is deflated, many
Mhm.
of us, we walk away from the game or we walk off of the stage broke and have nothing to show for the talent that we gave to arenas and to the world. And
Mhm.
that's something that has to change. But image and likeness is critical. God made man
Mhm.
in his image and in his likeness. So if image and likeness is important with God, then it certainly should be important with us.
So, how much money could a Marcus Singer had gotten raining 3-pointers in Conference USA?
You know, it was a lot different then, Coach. You know, I came under the Fab Five. So when Jalen Lim didn't have on the Michigan logo, and they just had on the blue shirts, they were making a statement because Chris Webber, you know, like he shared, he was looking in stores and in television and seeing his jersey number 4, people making multi-millions while he was in the dorm room trying to scrape and scrap for his next meal. So I don't know how much Marcus Singer could have made because, you know, I was a small fry coach. But the DePaul brand was big and is big. And the fact that we contributed to that brand, it would not have been, I don't think, wrong for us to be able to capture some of that benefit.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're being joined by Benton Harbor, Michigan Mayor Marcus Muhammad. We're talking sports and politics. And Coach, let me ask you this. What are some of the lessons you learned in sports that you now use in your political
question?
Boy, you know, DePaul was a great leadership ground in Chicago, period. I was just recently sharing with some people how I got 3 degrees. I got one from DePaul University, DPU. The other one was Chicago Streets University, and then Muhammad University. And I say that because, you know, I learned the political game. Of course, basketball is full of politics. And I had to learn, you know, one lesson I learned playing in the Sonny Parker, playing with Brian Leach. I wasn't getting no passes. Leach was shooting all RIP, Rip Legend. You know, he was shooting all the balls. But one thing I learned, when you get your shot,
make it.
You better make it.
Yeah.
Because if Leach passed it to you, kicked it to you, and you was open and didn't make it, you wasn't gonna get it. So I learned then, you have, especially politics, you have to seize the moment. You must take advantage of the opportunity because it may not come back like the Olympics.
See, but think of that life lesson you learned, though. You didn't cry about it. You understood what you had to do. And I think a lot of our youth need to understand that you can't take your ball and go home. So it's always a life lesson to come out of this. Let me ask you, school like Benton Harbor, when you came out of Benton Harbor, what were some of your aspirations when you left Benton Harbor? What did you think you would be when you grew up?
Well, I can honestly say that when I saw Reverend Jackson in 1984 run for the presidency, he broke the ceiling. And that planted in my mind, Brother Palmer, that I can be more than just a basketball player or, you know, some sports athlete. So when I came to DePaul, that was in the back of my mind. And of course, becoming a member of the nation and learning the discipline and being able to rub shoulders with, you know, people, of course, the minister and Reverend Al Sharpton and all of the Chicago people, Obama, you know, before I came back to Benton Harbor. So I was given and blessed. Blagojevich, Campaign for Stroger, Operation Push, where when I came back to Benton Harbor, I had been influenced by so many powerful people that now I can offer that education and that experience and those influences to the community that I'm serving now. And that's including the streets of Chicago, because I learned some things, Coach Lance, at the Dayton game, and you know, at the click.
At
You
the
know what I'm
click.
saying?
Oh, no, not the click.
You know, when I first went to the click and saw them out there stepping and dipping, I was, well, I'm 18, coach. I'm looking like, what's going on in here? You know, but I was learning about the culture and the richness and the pride of Chicago that Black people had. And I carry that with me today.
Well, I mean, Marcus, you wasn't the only one outside the clique at the age of 18 because my older cousin Byron Irvin also was getting me inside. I was hanging out in Nick's nest with Nick Anderson and doing a whole bunch of stuff no 18-year-old should have been doing. But,
this uncensored, ain't it, Coach?
it is. So let me talk to you a little bit. And, you know, while we don't do a lot of politics on this show, I just think America right now is in a very interesting place, a very precarious place, a very dangerous place in many ways. I read the headline story of last week's Final Call, the headline story, which talks about what happened on January the 6th in 2021 and how we are kind of heading down that path again here with the elections coming up in November. I used to write for the Final Call, so shout out to Brother Richard and all the good people there. I know they produce some good work. Let me ask you this, because you're in Michigan, which has been kind of a hotbed for a lot of the stuff that we saw that jumped off January the 6th. Just what are your personal thoughts on politics in the country and where it's going? And what do you think is important for the majority of our audience, African Americans, to understand on what is going on in this country?
Well, I'll backtrack on the Governor Cliff Kelly show, WVON, and him interviewing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who had shared that if America, if the people of America elected Donald Trump, and this was in 2017, he said that he would take America to hell in a rocket ship. And in 2022, going back to January 6th, 2021, we see the manifestation of those words now. And it's all pointing to the fact that the rise of Black people, poor people, indigenous people around the country with the browning of America. I'm reading a book right now, Coach, called The Suicide of a Superpower. Can America survive to 2025? So, and that's written by Pat Buchanan, white man, conservatives, where they're looking at their own country and they're looking at the sucking sound that Ross Perot talked about. They're looking at how manufacturing has died from globalization. They're looking at the fact that America, we don't produce our own products anymore. They're looking at the unemployment, the inflation, the divide politically. And it's not that Black people or Hispanic people have not tried to buy into the American dream or fit into. It's the fact that, you know, our population growth has put us in a position to where by 2050, they're saying that we will no longer be the minorities. Hispanic and Black and brown people will be the majority. So there's a fear amongst white nationalists that they're losing their country. And Donald Trump represented the pinnacle of white power, white male dominance, and to see him falling, it's just a sign of the fall of white hegemony and white power and white control, and the jig is up. It can't be sustained. But I think we as a people, we have to find how we can unite and how we can work together, because we have to lead in this next leg and in this next race as it relates to what direction will America go in. You know, I'm working closely with Governor Whitmer in Michigan, and it's a new leadership that's rising up. Even in the Democratic Party, it's a new leadership, and it's not gonna be what we think it is as we move forward. But I think that we have to seize the moment. We have to huddle as a people, and we have to find out how are we going to impact politically, economically, socially. In Chicago is a major city that you ask no question. Chicago is a major power, and we have to begin to flex our political power right there in the city, and we're doing it in Benton Harbor today.
So we can't let you go without asking you about Benton Harbor. Our super producer Sean, he comes to Michigan all the time. He kicking it up there in the summertime. Summertime, Sean, he loves different parks in Michigan. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you offer there in Benton Harbor. A lot of people like to take weekend trips up to Michigan from the Chicago area. Tell us a little bit about what your city has to offer.
So the city of Benton Harbor is about an hour and 15 minutes, 30 minutes from Chicago. We're surrounded by 3 bodies of water. We got 625 acres of riverfront property for those who are looking to invest in riverfront property. But we also are surrounded and sit on the shore of Lake Michigan and have one of the most beautiful natural beaches in the country. We have our own airport. We have our own transportation system. We have our own rail system. So you can get to Benton Harbor either by rail, by plane, by boat. And, we're primed for future development. So we just recently had a big concert, Wilson Chandler, where Rick Ross, G. Herbo was in town, representing the South Side, Freddie Gibbs. We recently had Stephanie Mills, Gerald Albright, downtown Benton Harbor. We got Glenn Jones coming for the Benton Harbor River Fest. So it's shaping up to be an entertainment hub for people who may not want to be in 100,000 or 90,000 crowd at Lollapalooza, but you want to come to a smaller venue where you can kick back and sit on the river or be on the lake. But it's a emerging city, and we're looking forward to inviting investors and people from the city of Chicago to come on down. I'll roll out the red carpet, and John Monopoly and Happy and all the crew, they came down for the Rick Ross, and they're like, man, Benton Harbor, man, it's going on down here, man. This is a hidden jewel, but just a little historical note, Al Capone, his mistress, used to live downtown Benton Harbor, and it was his secret getaway for his inner circle to meet outside of the Chicago and the South suburbs. He would come to Benton Harbor.
Interesting.
To meet here in Convalescent. So it's a lot in Benton Harbor, and we want to bring Mr. Palmer, brother, and Coach Lance to come on down. And if you want to golf, we got one of the best golf courses, Zach Nicholas Golf Course. So, we ready.
Hey, Jay, can I ask him this last question before he gets out here?
We got 20 seconds, so you got to do it quick.
Best shooter, Mark Macon, Sean Respert, yourself, Steve Smith. Who will win that shooting contest?
It's going to come down between me and Respert.
All right. There you go. Thanks a lot so much.
That's on the Cuz show. What's up, Cuz?
Hey, thank you so much, Brother Marcus. We so appreciate you coming on here. Good luck to you and all the stuff that you're doing up there in Benton Harbor. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
Wa alaikum salam. God bless.
All right. That was Mayor Marcus Muhammad. You're watching What's Up, Cuz, coming back after After the break, we're going to talk some NBA basketball with Rodney Phillips. He's coming up after the break. You're watching What's Up, Cuz.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on the Sports Zone Chicago.
Here's a deep drive to left off the bat of Velasquez. Get out the tape measure, long gone.
The action on the Cubs radio network, 4-3 the win over the Phillies on Sunday. Yan Gomes hit a pair of home runs, helping the Cubs complete a 3-game sweep. Nelson Velasquez also went deep for Chicago, who've won 4 straight. Drew Smyly retired his first 14 batters. He gave up 1 earned run on 4 hits with 4 strikeouts and no walks. David Robertson pitched out of a jam in a scoreless 9th for his 14th save of the season.
Back, and that baby's gone. 3-run homer.
The action on the White Sox radio network, 6-3 the win over the Guardians on Sunday in Chicago. The American League Central rivals split a 4-game series. The White Sox third in the division, 4 games out of first. The Guardians are second, 3 games behind the first place Twins. Just days away from the start of Bears training camp, all players due to report by tomorrow. The first public practice this Thursday at 10 a.m.
For lightning fast sports updates, download the Score app. It's free and one of the most popular sports apps in North America. I'm Chuck Sanders. That's the Sports Flash on the Sports Zone Chicago.
I want to make the most of summer without breaking the bank. So I shopped Kohl's Friends and Family sale. With my 25% off coupon, I headed to the store and got shorts for $14.99, plus an extra 50% off a swimsuit, 40% off patio furniture, and $20 off as a Kohl's Rewards member. More style and more savings for the win. Select styles, $20 off of $100 valid in store only. 25% offer ends July 31st in store only. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup sound experiment. We're looking to find the perfect way to hear Reese's so you'll buy more of them. Here we go. Reese's, 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 Reese's. Hey, get out of here, you little stinker. Reese's.
Reese's. Reese's.
Peanut Butter Cups. That breathy one sounded very creepy, am I right?
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lance Steve Irvin. And before we go any further, we started this about a month ago. We have joined with our partners at Black and Missing out in the Baltimore area to help highlight the cases of missing African Americans around the Chicago area. As you know, unfortunately, people from our community don't quite get the same media coverage when they go missing. So we are trying to help out in that area a little bit. And this week we are looking for a missing person, Kevin Brown from Chicago. We have a photo of Kevin Brown from Chicago. I'll give you a little bit of the background of his story.
Okay.
Kevin Brown was last seen on November the 20th, 2021. He is missing from the Austin neighborhood on the west side of Chicago. If you have any information, please contact the Chicago Police Department. Again, that is Kevin Brown. He is 28 years old. He is missing from the west side of Chicago. We implore all of our watchers and all our listeners of What's Up, Cuz, to help us bring our people back home to their loved ones and families. So thank you so much for that. All right, time to bring up our second guest on tonight's show. And Lance Irvin, you do the honors of giving him the introduction.
You know what? Our next guest is one of Colorado's, one of Denver's own. He played at Denver University, coached at Denver University, he coached at Colorado University. And matter of fact, Jay, he just won a championship with the Portland Trailblazers in the Summer League. And I'm mad because he sent me a picture of a nice big ring, too. And he's one of the young up and coming coaching in the industry. This young man can really coach. You know, Nick doesn't give everybody credit now. Nick was like, man, Rodney can coach. So let's bring out my man, Rodney Billups.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all having me. That's a great intro, Coach. I appreciate you.
You know what, Rodney? I should have did you a little bit better because, you know, you're a champion. You know, normally champs come out now. I tried. Oh, whoa. What is that? Is that the ring?
That's Summer League championship ring right there. They
Rodney,
took good care of us. I promise they did.
Well, this is a first on this show. I'll tell you that.
see, right, let me ask you this, though. They gave out rings in the Summer League, correct? You guys had a great run. How did you feel when you won it all? I think anytime you can win, you feel good. How does it feel to be a Summer League champ?
You know, you prefaced in my intro that I coached at Denver. Played at University of Denver, coached at University of Denver. It's been a while since I did some winning. And to be perfectly honest and full candid with you guys, because y'all family, it felt amazing just to be back on that side. You know, and the ring was just a gesture, right? The ring was just almost like the EYBL shoes that they give out. They make those kids work so hard just to get those shoes, you know what I mean? And now giving these rings out, and it's a beautiful ring. I haven't seen anything like this coming from the college scene. It's a beautiful ring. The athletes were they were so happy to receive just an award, let alone a ring. And they competed their tails off, and we came out and we guarded guys every single night. And this was a testament to just how hard we played.
And you know what? People always talk about the Las Vegas Summer League. When I spoke to you, I said, right now, I haven't been out there. What is that experience like? I think you told me you was out there for 12 days or something crazy. So what all happened?
You know, and you know this, the Final Four, you know, there's a convention at the Final Four where all the coaches come and they meet and they network. There's coaches clinics every day. There's networking events every night. This was the Final Four is only over the weekend. This was 12 straight days of that. And you know, every game, every halftime, coaches are in the gym and the hallway and the concessions areas. They're talking. They're scrapping offensive and defensive suggestions. I mean, it was unbelievable for me. Because one, it was my first time going through it, but two, the energy in the place, the fans in Vegas were great. You know, people come from all over the world to see those games because you get all 30 teams in one spot competing. You got, you know, all the veterans coming in to support the young guys, all the agents, all the runners, everybody, front office people, everybody's in one spot, and it's crazy. Crazy is the only word I can use.
So explain to our viewers, what was a typical day like for you, right? A typical game day, especially because I'm sitting there watching y'all and y'all was playing hard too. And I'm like, dang, I know they just had practice or something. Like, what's a typical coaching day like for you and something?
So for us, we had every game we had was late. We had the late game. We would have breakfast and it's crazy. This was new to me too. We had a breakfast window. Guys would come and eat between 10 and 12. Some days it was 9 and 11, but they had 2 hours to come eat. We had a team meeting where we did personnel and our game preparation. Then we went to shoot around. It was a normal game day. We went to shoot around for an hour. We got some work in on the floor. We did some walkthrough stuff defensively. Guys got off their feet for about 3 hours, and maybe 4, depending on game time. And we were back at the gym. And you know, those days got to be really long. Our first game was 9 p.m. It was midnight East Coast time. So those days got really long, but it was all business. And that's the one thing that I appreciated with our athletes. They came to win. They came to play extremely hard. and our coaches, we developed every single day, just in conversations with us and having that camaraderie in our own locker room. To all right, we competing to win, and winning was the one thing that we all focused on, and we were able to do it.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, being joined by Portland Trailblazers assistant coach Rodney Billups. Coach Billups, let me ask you this. What has the transition been like for you coming from the University of Denver as a head coach, and now you're an assistant coach in the NBA on that level? You go from being the head man, and now you're back as a low man on the totem pole.
Humbling, to tell you the truth. That's a really good question. For some of the viewers that's out there, I got a pretty good boss, and I've been able to kind of slowly make my way in. And I came in in the middle of the season in December, so they were already in stride mode, and they had a workflow that was working, and I didn't want to disrupt that. So when I got in, I was able to just kind of slowly get my groove, contribute here and there from a head coach's perspective, but also have some sweat equity with our guys. And it seems like our guys are starting to gravitate towards my energy. And I call myself, and Lance knows this, I call myself a player's coach. So I like to joke and have fun and make fun of people, and people make fun of me, and it's all fun and games. But when we're in that rectangle we call the court, it's business and it's on. So that transition has been very humbling. When you have the ability to practice when you want to practice and have some split time with your family and be able to dictate everything and make every decision, to now going back and back to the back seat, it's tough. It really is. But like I said, I work for a really good organization, a really good head coach, and a brother. So it's been good.
What has been the biggest adjustment for you for coaching college players to now, let's just be frank, grown-ass rich men who got their own families and own egos and more money than you?
It's not hard at all, honestly, because you got our best player, Dame Lillard, who wants to be coached, who wants to be the best, who asks questions every single day. And he's the worker. Like, he sets the tone. Like, he's in the gym every single day early and leaves late. So it hadn't been hard from the coaching standpoint. But now college, and here was my why when I got into college. I wanted to shape these young people and make them good citizens, make them good husbands and fathers. There ain't none of that. These dudes come in to work, they get their work in and they out of there. Like you said, they got their own family. Ain't none of that. So that's been the biggest change. It's like, I don't got to worry about, guys going to training table and eating, or guys not going to study hall, or guys not even going to class. I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. It's all basketball, and I appreciate that. But I do miss the camaraderie of getting a young person and shaping them how I would like, or how I think they would be successful.
I was going to ask you, Rodney, being the head coach, I found myself, like my first couple of years, I was sleeping less at night. Are you sleeping better at night? Because when you're a head coach, you know how it is. Like, you waking up all types of day wondering if who's in trouble. Are you sleeping better? And how did you sleep as a head coach?
I didn't sleep. You just said it. I didn't sleep. I was worried about so many things, right? At the college level, those kids mess up. The accountability lies on the head coach. Those kids get in a bar fight, or those kids get in an altercation with a woman, it lies on us. It's our responsibility. And I lost a lot of sleep just on that. I coached in a city where marijuana was legal, and so there was a lot of stress in that itself. But also, when you losing games, you losing sleep as well. I'm surprised I got so much hair. For some reason, and now in the NBA, all that onus lies on the athlete. They get paid so much money that now you get in trouble. That's on you. You late to a team meeting, that's on you. You missed the plane, that's on you. That's all. It's a business that I can appreciate. But now I'm sleeping comfortably now.
do you miss the part about name, image, and likeness? What's your
No,
thoughts on NLI? Are you happy you're not a part of that? Not really
I'm happy.
happy, but you don't have to navigate that.
100%, 100%. And there was a haves and have-nots before name, image, and likeness. And being at a small university that I was at in Denver, we were some of the have-nots. So
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't have changed in that role. But now you see the transfer rules are changing again. You know, staffs are hiring a director for name, image, and likeness. Universities
Mm-hmm.
like Duke hired a very, very good woman to join their staff
Mm-hmm.
just to work in that name, image, and likeness field. So it's giving more people opportunity to work in college athletics, but it's also making it extremely hard for coaches to coach their kids because the second they get a AAU friend that's getting, whatever it is at the next university, they're thinking they deserve the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that university that they're at, they might not be able to give them that, so they're leaving. I'm
Mm-hmm.
good on that. I don't want no parts of that, Cole. I don't want none of that. None of that.
You know the reason why I asked Jason, I asked Rodney, because him and I was at universities where, the exposure might not be like it should be. But if you develop a really good player, somebody was gonna try to come in and take your player. So that's some of the things that you dealing with. If you had to do it all over again, Rodney, you was a head coach, or when you get your next head coaching job, what will you do differently?
One, I'm gonna hire you if you're still available. And two, along the lines of that, like your staff is so important. So hiring the right staff, but two, just do it my way, and I tried to conform to some things that culturally from that university that they wanted to see, which I got a slow start because of that. And then year 3, year 4, year 5, when COVID hit, we lost some resources, and I began to I lost myself in the moment of trying to service the student athletes, but also service the university. And I lost some things in that in doing so. So just doing it my way, like going with my gut, recruiting the right players, but also having fun because it wasn't fun the last year. And you and I sat on that Sunday call every Sunday, and it wasn't a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And we had the same struggles. So I know you. I'm preaching to the choir with this, but doing it my
No,
way.
but the viewers need to hear that, Rodney, because sometimes when you get a job, your friends and everybody, they don't really understand what you're going through on an everyday basis. And not that we wasn't happy to have a job, but there's some struggles that come with every job. And you just said something about your staff. Is Roy Rogers on the staff with you in Portland?
Yeah,
Who's on
Big
your
Roy,
staff?
double R's on the staff. Yeah,
Then
he's
you
our
got
defense.
Roy. I know
Yep.
Coach Eddie is on the staff.
Coach Eddie.
Is
Yep.
Scotty Brooks on the staff? Is Scott
Scott
Brooks on the
Brooks is
staff?
on the staff as well.
See,
So
so
we got a hell of a staff.
what have you been? Hey, Jason, I'm talking about guys with the experience. I met Roy when he was with the Chicago Bulls, Rodney, and he breaks down Jason like no other. What have you learned from those guys, Rodney? Because you with some heavy hitters now.
Absolutely. Communication is everything. Communicate that, like we got a group text. Obviously, every staff has a group text. I'm sure every CEO has a group text with their leadership, right? So we talk every single day, no matter what the day is. But how we communicate with each other as a staff has been amazing. We challenge each other respectively. We may even argue respectively, but when we leave the room, we all united. And that comes from Scotty Brooks when he was at OKC playing in finals after finals, when he went to Washington and they had humbling seasons with Westbrook and Bradley Beal. That knowledge, Roy Rogers as a player, now as an unbelievable coach and teacher, to now Chauncey in his first year as a head coach, learning and trying to figure it out. And there's so many different perspectives that communication is so important to trying to win games that it's amazing. And that's probably because now I'm coaching a whole different sport almost with the different rules and so many games. That communication has been amazing. And we all got to be locked in. We all got to be on the same page. And a lot of times when you see teams lose, it's because they're just not on the same page, not because they have less talent. They're just not on the same page.
Rodney, let me ask you this. Obviously, your brother is Chauncey Billups, who you just mentioned. Chauncey had a great NBA career as well. He's now in coaching. Similar to the Irvin family, you're now both into coaching. What do the two of you do in terms of communication now that you're both into the coaching realm?
Well, when I started coaching 12, 13 years ago, he became a coach because that's my best friend. That's my go-to. Any basketball question, we always talked about it. We've had arguments. I'm not talking about friendly arguments. We've had arguments and we've had success stories throughout our entire lives about basketball and how to communicate and how just the basketball game itself. So now that I'm almost 40, he's 7 years older, 6.5 years older than me. It's the same. We fight and bicker. He's still big brother, but we fight and bicker, and he knows that I got more coaching experience than him. So he listens a little closer now that he's in my game. But the communication is great. It's wonderful, man.
And you know what? This is why I'm happy for y'all. Because brothers and you guys helping each other out, but y'all learning from each other too. And the one thing I say about Rodney Jason, man, you can coach, man. Like, I'm watching your sets and I'm seeing stuff that you did and stuff. Will you come back to college at some point in time and be a head coach if that opportunity is given to you again?
Absolutely. It's got to be the right one, though. It's got to be a situation where I know I can go in and win, a situation where I know I can go and recruit and be successful. But I do want to be a head coach. That's my goal. Next 5 or 6 years, I want to learn as much as I can, be a sponge again, and stay in the mud for 5 or 6 years, and then come back and find you wherever you at, man. And we gonna do it.
You know, you one of my favorite. All you got to do is call me. I forgot what Spencer Dinwiddie at Colorado when you was there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's one of my favorite dudes.
Did you think he would be that special? Because y'all had some dudes in Colorado. No, Roberson was there too. Did you think Spencer would be that special?
I thought he had a chance to be really good in recruiting. And when he got on our campus, he grew even more. He grew tall and he grew wide. He's got a great basketball body. And I just didn't know that he was going to be Spencer Dinwiddie now. I thought he was an NBA player, but third point guard on the roster, not that type of dude that'll fight and crawl just to stay in the league. Now he's been amazing.
And last question first. I'll tell your family I said hi. You have a little something, but I gotta ask you this. Who's the better shooter on your staff? You, Chauncey, Scotty, Brooks, Coach Eddie. Now, Coach Eddie can shoot too, now from what I hear. Who's the best shooter now? Because, I'm going to call her and tell her what you said. I'm going to send her the clip. So who's the best shooter on the staff?
I'm going to humbly say Chauncey Billups, man. I can't even jump in that argument, man, because, he's a future Hall of Famer. He had an unbelievable career. I can't believe I was listening to the beginning of the show. I can't believe you covered up the Detroit jerseys. I can't believe it.
We're a Chicago-based show, Rodney. For the love of God, what do you want us to do?
Rodney, I fell for the peer pressure. They always give me a hard time. Why you talk about the Pistons? No, I'm not talking about the Pistons. The Pistons was good. And I have 3 of my favorite guards, Chauncey, Isaiah, Joe, play for the Pistons. See, but you're not like Nick, Rodney. Because what Nick would have got up here and said. Nick said, I'm the best. He would have said, I'm the best shooter in the Irvin family. See, Nick would have told that fib, knowing Mac is the best shooter. But that's why I fool with you, see? And man, I appreciate you taking care of me last year, too. Anytime you come to Chicago, man, you're one of my favorite people. Jay, not only a great person, man, he's a great coach, he's a great father figure. That's why we had to have my man on. Anything we could do for you, Rodney, man, let us know. And I'm
Yeah,
happy
we
to have
really,
you on.
Appreciate y'all, man.
really
I do.
appreciate you coming on, man. Congratulations on the Summer League Championship. Show us the ring one more time before you leave,
There
Robbie.
it is.
There you go.
There it
Give
is.
me one of those. There you go, championship ring. I like his ring better than yours, Lance Irvin. You just got a high school title.
You know what?
Hey, I
it's always
appreciate y'all.
somebody. It's always somebody coming on doing a little bit better than you. I'm not mad, because at least I see a picture of it.
Hey, thanks so much, Coach Millers. We appreciate it. And you all have a good season out there against the Trailblazers, okay?
I'll be
No, I
in touch.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
All right, later.
Rodney Billups, everybody. Rodney Billups. Thank you so much to Coach Rodney for joining us. And now let's get into something else. It is time for what is it time? It's time for our jump ball question. It's time for our jump ball question. Maurice, play the video.
Let me see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Jump Ball. Jump Ball is a segment where Lance and I take opposite views on a question. And tonight's question, we have it written down, but we also have a photo. This is like, you know, how, like if you watch Jeopardy, they do like a daily double photo.
Double fix up my sport jacket.
Well, this is like a daily double photo.
Maurice, let me
Jeopardy.
see the photo.
So here is the photo. Okay, that's the photo. I think we got another picture as well of, okay, that's the photo. All right, that's the photo. Get that in your mind, Lance Irvin.
I'm going for it.
And then
let me see something.
He's going to post the question. Go ahead and post that question for us, Maurice. And
I'm
then
going first this
Lance is going to go first.
I'm going first this week.
He's going to post what the
What's
question
the question, Maurice?
is.
Let me fix up my glasses. Let me get my hanky.
Oh, I got it. Here we go. Here's the question.
What's the question?
Are the Bears' new ultimate uniforms a touchdown or a turnover? A touchdown or a turnover? That is the question. Lance Irvin is going to go first. He has 60 seconds. Maurice will time it. At the end of 60 seconds, Maurice, put me on the screen and take him off. Go.
Jason, those uniforms you just showed me, that's a turnover. A turnover. Other than the little color, what's the difference? Those not fresh. Those not new. Those not what the kids want to see. When you tell me alternate uniform, I need stuff like the NBA City uniform. I need stuff where it's a fresh design, something new. You can market it to the masses like, hey, the Chicago Bears have some new uniforms. Like when somebody walking past, I'm like, ooh, wait, look at that. Not like this is just an orange slice or something like that. Whoever, matter of fact, they need to go get Don C. Jason, I know you don't know who Don C is. Look up Don C. Have Don C. come up with the new alternate uniform. Those uniforms are a turnover. And if you say they're a touchdown, Jason, you fooling yourself. Those not going to fly off the shelves. They too plain and too ordinary. Like, I'm not walking down the street with that on thinking I'm...
Good. My cousin's time is up. Now, I like the new uniforms. I don't know why. I think it's the helmet that does it for me. I think it's the orange helmet. They've had these orange pumpkin jerseys before in the past. So this is nothing new. They usually wear them for Halloween. But I think having the orange helmet with the C on the logo, I think that helps this uniform an absolute lot. Now, the white pants, okay, I get where everybody's coming from, but if you do it with the blue pants, now you're looking like the University of Illinois out there. You're looking like the Fighting Illini now. So for some reason, I kind of like it, which is weird because usually I'm not the one who likes the fancy stuff. I like the traditional uniforms, but for some reason, I kind of like these orange jerseys and I like the orange helmet. I think it really sets them off. And let's be honest, the Bears are going to suck this year, so we got to have something new to keep us distracted. And that's my position on it. All right, Maurice, bring them back on.
I can't believe you sat up there and said, the white pants, we always wear the white pants. Like, that's not. Jay, would you order that jersey? You know you a Jersey fan. Will you order that jersey, Jay? You gonna order that
No,
jersey?
because I'm a Dolphins fan now, and you know that. So no, I'm not gonna order that jersey.
Jason, do you know who Don C is? Don C is the hottest designer out there. They need to go get Don C. Jason, do you know who Brian Collins is? That's Penny Collins from Tennessee State, the coach that was on our show.
Yeah,
Penny,
Penny,
if you sit up there and lie, Penny, I'm gonna call you after this. Penny, I'm calling you after this.
Penny said he liked. Now Armando said I would like them in a white jersey. So, but Armando, you can't change them. But that ain't the question, Armando.
That's the question. Like I think the Chargers, their stuff fresh. That's not getting you no swag points. If you walking downtown Chicago, ain't nobody go, JP, where you get that jersey from, boy? Ain't nobody go like, well, boy, look out there now, boy. What you got on that? Ain't nobody gonna, so they gonna ride past you like.
Well, I like them. I like them. You don't like them. Coach Collins likes them. Armando wants them to be white, so I take it that means he doesn't like them. So we will bring on our show producer for tonight, Maurice Bledsoe. Maurice Bledsoe will come on. We will ask Maurice his thoughts on it. Maurice gets to break the tie. So Maurice,
Time out. You explain, Maurice. Let me explain to you, Maurice. I'm like 8-5 against my cousin. I started off with cool 7-2.
Okay.
So now think real hard before you ask the question. But I know you're gonna answer truthfully. So let me fix up my shirt, my sport coat.
It's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be. They're gonna have to put some combinations together because that orange on orange make them look like an orange slice, man. I'm just being real. I'm thinking of orange slice, maybe orange crush, the drink, the soft drink. Yeah, they're gonna have to do a combination of the uniforms just to make a uniform because you can't put orange on orange.
But as man, you need another design. Like you gotta freshen up. Like, see, when I put the sport coat on, you know, I threw the handkerchief on.
Yeah.
And, you know, you gotta have some flair, some style.
Like Jay just, you know,
like Maurice. When we had
I got the white headphones tonight to try to blend in.
When we had my man Boo on from the Fleet Club, what did he tell you, Jay? He said you gotta spice your stuff up a little bit, right? Matter of fact, we need to go down there and see him. We got to go down there and see him. But I don't think those uniforms, they don't really do nothing for us. I don't think they just uniforms, Jay. If you're gonna do something like the Oregon Ducks. Give me like a highlighter. Give me like 59 different combinations. With that, thumbs down.
Yeah, I think they took away the essence of the uniform because now, like you said, you can't even really put combinations of stuff together because, like you say, you don't look like the fighting line.
Well, wait there, Maurice. Did you hear my cousin say, I like the helmets?
Right.
Who going in the store?
It looked like an orange slice. It was making me hungry. I want to just, We're like, nah, you gotta wait till you eat your dinner. You can't eat no orange slice. Oh, that's a football helmet.
Well, that's not fair because the helmet is part of the new. The helmet is part of the new look. It goes with the jersey.
The helmet is cool. I get the helmet. But Jay, you have to see. Let me tell you what Coach Larry Stacy told me. You have to start it, you have to middle it, and you have to end it. They started it. There's no middle and there's no end. That's what I'm going to say. But I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna let you fool yourself and thinking this a hit.
Well, that's what I think.
While they're getting all this new stuff, we need some wins. That's the new thing we need. I mean, you can get as many new things. You can get a new stadium in a new city or near a new part of of Chicago or outskirts of Chicago, but we need some wins. And that's what I'm looking for.
Because I'm wondering who's gonna replace my man Robinson, that wide receiver this year. That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, we're gonna find out.
That dude.
We're going to find out. But, hey, we're going to take a commercial break. And then coming up, we got Herb Howard. He's going to be coming in to let us know what's going on with the Bears because they open training camp tomorrow. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. And then coming up, we got Herb Howard from the Bigs. We're going to talk Bears football. You are watching What's Up, Cuz?
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on the Sports Zone Chicago.
Here's a deep drive to left off the bat of Velasquez. Get out the tape measure, long gone.
The action on the Cubs radio network, 4-3 the win over the Phillies on Sunday. Yan Gomes hit a pair of home runs, helping the Cubs complete a 3-game sweep. Nelson Velasquez also went deep for Chicago, who've won 4 straight. Drew Smyly retired his first 14 batters. He gave up 1 earned run on 4 hits with 4 strikeouts and no walks. David Robertson pitched out of a jam in a scoreless 9th for his 14th save of the season.
Back, and that baby's gone. 3-run homer.
The action on the White Sox radio network, 6-3 the win over the Guardians on Sunday in Chicago. The American League Central rivals split a 4-game series. The White Sox third in the division, 4 games out of first. The Guardians are second, 3 games behind the first place Twins. Just days away from the start of Bears training camp, all players due to report by tomorrow. The first public practice this Thursday at 10 a.m.
For lightning fast sports updates, download the Score app. It's free and one of the most popular sports apps in North America. I'm Chuck Sanders. That's the Sports Flash on the Sports Zone Chicago.
I want to make the most of summer without breaking the bank. So I shopped Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. With my 25% off coupon, I headed to the store and got shorts for $14.99, plus an extra 50% off a swimsuit, 40% off patio furniture, and $20 off as a Kohl's Rewards member. More style and more savings for the win. Select styles, $20 off of $100 valid in store only. 25% offer ends July 31st in store only. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup sound experiment. We're looking to find the perfect way to hear Reese's so you'll buy more of them. Here we go. Reese's, 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 Reese's. Hey, get out of here, you little stinker.
Reese's.
Reese's. Reese's.
Peanut Butter Cups. That breathy one sounded very creepy, am I right?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to What's Up, Because I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach himself, Lancey Irvin. Before we bring on our final guest of tonight's show, we got to send out some happy birthday wishes. And good Lord, do we have a lot of people to say happy birthday to? They all had a birthday in the same week. Friends of the show, our guy, Ken Davis from the Under the Center podcast. Ken's birthday was this weekend, also known as AKA Barry White. Ken, he had a birthday. Our good friend Armando, he had a birthday. His birthday is today, okay? Mm-hmm. Our good friend Philatosha, his birthday was a few days ago. And of course, the owner of Sports Zone Chicago, our guy Sean Sierra, his birthday is also today, which is why he ain't producing the show. He made Maurice do it. But that's all right, because Maurice is doing a hell of a job. So don't let him do you like that no more, Maurice. He's trying to kick it for his birthday. Of course, I think he was drunk, but anyway. So that's why Sean isn't there. Happy birthday to Ken, Armando, Phil, and Sean. Thank you all so much for backing us up. And you are more than welcome, Armando. Go out there and kick it and enjoy yourself. But wait, we got 20 minutes left on the show, so stay tuned.
Armando, enjoy yourself, but stay away from some of those adult beverages. Okay?
Yes, do that.
Stay away from
please.
those.
Well, I don't stay away from them, just limit them. Let's put it like
There you
that.
go.
All right, let's get to our final guest. Hey, man, tomorrow your team reports for training camp. The veterans, the rookies are already there. Stuff is going to start happening. We got a new coaching staff. So we said, let's reach out to our cousins over at the Bigs. Let's see if we can get one of them to come on. We got their Bears beat reporter. He even dressed up for our anniversary show, too. It looked like our guy, Herb Howard, is here. Herb, what's up, man?
Cuz, what up, man? Jason, Lance, what's happening with y'all? Happy anniversary, man.
Oh,
I saw how y'all was rocking, so I'm like, let me go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, meet the standard at least, or try to at least. I can't keep up with Lance, but you know what I mean? Trying to meet the standard.
Herb, I like the outfit, Herb. I like the color combination, though.
I love that too, man. That's sweet, right there.
I'm like, that's something I could pull off. Matter of fact, that sport coat is about a what size? Is that like a 44? What size?
Come on now, Lance. Come on now.
What is it? I could work with it, but Herb, I'm happy you on. Especially, I don't have a side piece team like some other people on this show. I'm not gonna mention them. I'm not gonna mention. What about my Bears? Because a lot of people have my Bears to come in last, last almost. How are we gonna look this year? I mean, talk to me, make me feel good about myself.
Yeah, I'm not as pessimistic as some people are. I've been hearing, 3-14, 4-13. I don't really see that, right? I don't see that. I understand, where they're coming from when they say that. You look at the roster, it's not a whole lot of talent, lots of questions, offensive line, wide receiver, interior of the defensive line, secondaries coming together. I understand the questions and the cause for concern, but I don't see them as a 3-14 football team. That's a really, really bad football team. I see the Bears. I think their floor would be 6 wins this year. I think their ceiling is probably somewhere around 9 wins. So anywhere in between there is kind of where I see them coming out. I think I'm going to end up picking them to go 8 and 9. But I think that there is a formula for this team to be successful. They're not going to compete for a Super Bowl or anything like that this year. I think everybody understands that. But they can still be very, very competitive so long as Matty Eberflus and this coaching staff is honest with themselves about who and what they are, what they can do, what they can't do, and then devise a game plan and execute it around those types of things. Can you run the football? Can you take care of the football offensively? Can you take the ball away on defense? Play good special teams? Those are the types of things that the Bears need to do to be successful. If they do that, I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
I'm always concerned about the offensive line. Is Jenkins ready to have a breakout year? Seems like he's always hurt to me. I mean, is Tevin Jenkins going to have a breakout year for us?
I don't even know that Tevin Jenkins is going to be one of the 5, right? All spring long, we saw them. I know it's disappointing to hear. Ideally, you would think he would have been one of your bookend tackles, hopefully for the next decade. But then you come into minicamp and you see they've got 5th round rookie Braxton Jones taking all the snaps with the first team at left tackle. And it's like the first time you saw it, it was like, okay, maybe they're just kind of moving some pieces around, trying to see who has some, positional flexibility. But then when they came around for the second week and he was again taking all of the first team reps, like, well, what's up with Tevin Jenkins and why is he not running with the ones? And so that raises a cause for concern. He's a 2nd round pick last year. You expect him to be a guy to kind of take one of those 2 spots and run with it. Right now, that doesn't seem to be the case. I'm not saying he's not going to be. I think ultimately they probably need him to be, but it is a huge, huge red flag when your 2nd round pick from just a year ago is running with the 2s while a 5th round rookie out of Southern Utah is taking all those reps.
So I can't feel good about that. So my man, we lose Robinson. So who can I feel good about a wide receiver? Pringle or I'm trying to feel good on this show. Who can I feel good about?
Listen, I want you to feel good about it too. I want to feel good about it, but honestly, there are more questions than answers right now. We know what Darnell Mooney is. He's a hardworking guy. He is going to maximize any ability and potential that he has. I love his work ethic. I think he can be a dynamic playmaker for you. I don't know that he is a true number 1 wide receiver in this league.
Is he a deep ball threat like that? Like I don't
know that he's a true, certainly not a top level, number one wide receiver. I think he's a good number two, and maybe he can become like a 1B type of receiver, but I don't know that he's a true number one receiver. And if he's not, they don't have one. You bring in a guy like Byron Pringle, I think he's very, very intriguing because, in Kansas City, there's just not enough balls to go around. So this is a guy who could come in and with more opportunities prove to be a significant difference maker and a playmaker for the Bears. And so that's a possibility. You get Equanimous St. Brown. He comes over. He understands at least the offense that they're trying to install. You trade for N'Keal Harry, which I certainly understand it. He's well worth the 7th round pick. This is a guy who's former 1st round pick, didn't work out for him in New England. Fine, you swap him for a 7th in 2024. I understand that, but he's also not a guy that I'm excited about. So I don't know in terms of the wide receivers where the excitement comes from. Again, you anticipate Darnell Mooney to continue to ascend. I do, right? I just don't know that he's made to be a number one receiver. The rest of the guys are more questions than answers.
All right, Herb. Now I'm going to ask you the real important questions because you've been watching the show. So let me just ask you.
No, they're ugly.
Look at this, man.
There it is. There it is. There it is. I was watching. I heard you say that you like him, and it's like, no, that's not a good look. That is not a good look at all. I was watching. I'm like, because I had been watching y'all talk to Coach Billups. I was watching y'all talk to Mir Muhammad earlier, and so when y'all asked the question, I was interested to see what you had to say. Lance was quick. Turnover. You come here, touchdown. No, throw that whole uniform away. It's trash. It's trash.
Well, I am a Dolphins fan, so I mean, you got to take
No. You have a side piece team. You're a Bears fan, and you just don't want to admit it.
I am a Dolphins fan. The Dolphins and I are now in a committed relationship.
But let me ask you this, Herb. First year coach, right? First year coach, you always having some headaches, right? Who can he really count on when stuff gets hard, right? Because a lot of the roster has turned over. Like Khalil Mack is gone. Robinson is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, first year coach. So what can we expect, or what have you heard we can expect out of him in his first year?
I think he's a guy who's going to come in and try and implement structure and discipline. When you're a bad football team, the one thing you cannot afford to do is beat yourself, right? You want to give yourself an opportunity to compete into the fourth quarter. So all the false starts, all of the, pre-snap penalties, those types of things have to go away. There's nothing wrong with, penalty out of aggression or something like that, a hold here or there, a PI down the field sometimes. But some of the penalties that the Bears fans have kind of gotten used to seeing, you just can't have those things. Those are draft killers. Those are things that are going to shoot you in the foot. So I think first and foremost, he's going to try and implement some discipline, some structure so that the Bears are not beating themselves. And then after that, how well can they play defense? Can they take the ball away? And then how well can they run it? What is this outside zone scheme going to look like? Can you lean on David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert to play ball control, time management football and give yourself a chance in the fourth quarter? So I think if he sticks to those things right now, year one, then he'll give them a chance to be competitive and not be 3-14 like many people are predicting.
Interesting.
Let me ask you this, Jay. Now we live in a throwing. Everybody likes to throw now.
Mm-hmm.
So will he be inclined to air it out?
I hope not. And that's not an indictment on Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is going to eventually be a really, really good quarterback in this league. I think he has all the tools. I think he has the arm to make every throw on the field. He obviously has the athleticism to extend plays when they break down and make plays with his legs. So it's not an indictment on Justin Fields when I say I hope they don't go into the game expecting to throw it 40, 45 times. That is not the recipe for success for this Bears team. Now, maybe in the years to come, that may be the case. But for this team, they better focus on getting the ball to David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, and the Bears need to try and figure out, okay, how can we have the shortest average time per game this season? They don't need long games. They need short games. They need to run the ball. They need to let the time go by and have short games. They need to try to, how can we win games 17-13, 20-17? If it gets up there 30, 35 points, they're probably going to lose that. So no, they don't need to go opening it up and throwing it all over the yard. They need to play ball control and take care of it.
So, Herb, before, we booked you, and then there was more breaking Bears news today before we could get you on the show.
Yeah.
So, we also need to talk about this situation. For those of you who don't know, the news today, the city and Mayor Lori Lightfoot came with their proposal for a renovated Soldier Field. The new proposal that they have, this is the artist rendering. They're gonna put a dome on it. It looked like it's gonna be a glass dome, from what I could tell. But it's gonna be a dome stadium. See, they changed it. They're gonna upgrade the seating to now 70,000 seats. So they basically just adding 7,000 to 10,000 seats on what it currently. I don't think it's that many seats that they're really adding. But this is the artist's rendering, and this got Chicago Dome on it and all this. This has just been a damn mess. Let's just be honest, okay?
Yeah.
But it wasn't, here's my thing. It wasn't Mayor Lightfoot's fault, because when they redid the thing in 2001, 2002, we said then you all need to just use Soldier Field for something else and build a completely different facility. They were like, no, we want to keep it historical and all this. And they messed up the rebuild. They lost the National Historical Landmark status anyway. And now here we are 20 years later. And the price tag, they say, is going to be $900 million to $2.2 billion, of which taxpayers will have to pay. Tell us what is going on with this.
Listen, I think that just going around the country last year, right? The Bears opened up week 1 at the Rams at SoFi. That was the first time fans were allowed in there. The previous season was COVID. We were there. I walked into that place and it's palatial. Like, it's like, damn, like, what is this? Like, people play football here. And I knew that when the Bears brass walked in there, there's no way they're going to be comfortable going back to Soldier Field. They also played out in Vegas. They got the new Allegiant Stadium out there. That thing, also palatial. You can't go around the country and see those stadiums and then come back into Soldier Field, right? Just, it's not the same thing. It's not the same experience for anybody. And so then, okay, how do they go about trying to get what they want? They do it any, football brass, GM, ownership, head coach. They all do the same thing when they're trying to leverage for more money. We're going to move. I'm going to go take another job somewhere else. And then that runs the price tag up. And so Chicago's going to have to pony up and say, hey, we really want the Bears to stay in Chicago. Will it be enough? I don't know. I think that the McCaskies want to go to Arlington. I think they're, looking at the other things they can do in terms of, Big Ten championship or, Final Four, or those types of things, all those types of things they want to be in the market for. And so I think that they would like to go out there. Ultimately, listen, I'm a Chicago dude, born and raised. Nostalgically, I think Soldier Field belongs right there on the lake with the skyline in the backdrop. But does it really matter? No, they're still going to be the Chicago Bears. Even if they go out to Arlington, are people going to go? Absolutely, they're going to go, and they'll get used to it. And once they get out there and see this stadium that's similar to SoFi or Allegiant, they're like, yo, I don't care where it's at. This is home. And so I don't think it'll be a big deal. They'll do some back and forth. And ultimately, the Bears, I think they got to be, in Chicago at least through 2026 or 27. So we'll see, in the coming year or two, whether or not they're going to be leaving. But it's definitely been a bit of a mess throughout this process.
So basically, Herb, what you're saying, let me break this down in layman's terms. You got your girlfriend. You've been dating her for 5 years. You take her to your best friend's wedding. She sees the wedding. She still ain't got a ring. Then you take her to your cousin's wedding. She sees that wedding. She still ain't got a ring. She come home after them 2 weddings. She like, what my ring? And you like, what ring? And then she like, I'm out.
Right. And then you go get a ring. You know what I mean? Or at least you start showing her some rings. You know what I mean? So look, this the one. And so I think right now, Mayor Lightfoot and Chicago are putting together their best package to say, here's the ring. And, we'll see if that proverbial girlfriend likes it or not.
But let me ask you this. When you talk about that price tag you talked about, Jason, why not just go build another one?
Right. I wouldn't renovate it for that cause.
What
do you renovate? Just build a brand new one.
Build a new one. Seriously. I don't know. What's your
I don't
thoughts,
think there's
Phil?
another, I don't know if they have another site for it. I think they want it to be right where it is. I'm not opposed to demolishing the current one and then rebuilding it, but they gotta, I don't even know what that process looks like in terms of remodeling it. Where will they play while this is happening? Last time they went all the way down to Champaign. That wasn't cool. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody wants to do that. And so I don't even know what they would do in the interim in terms of remodeling that stadium. I do think, the It's appealing to talk about a retractable roof. I think that'll be fine. I think, Chicago tends to hold on to things that we don't necessarily need to hold on to.
This is true.
Historical things, and it's nostalgic, and it's this and it's that. It's like, listen, stop it. They just put a big screen scoreboard in Wrigley Field like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous because we got to keep it the way it was. No, you don't. No, you don't. Like, get with the times. It's fine. And so now you got Bears fans like, no, Bears football has to be outside, and it's this and it's that, and we don't need a roof. Man, look, put a roof on that thing. Open it when you want it open. Close it when you want it closed. Real simple. I think they should do it. What it's going to look like and what that price tag is going to be, I'm sure it'll be closer to the higher end of that estimate than the lower.
Of course.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Well, here's my other thing, Herb. Let's be honest. We all Chicagoans. If the taxpayers got to build this, about 40 aldermen going to jail for taking bribes. The contract bidding going to be rigged. It's going to be a mess. So I'm kind of like, just let them go. Just let them go. You had the chance to do it 20 years. You screwed the pooch on it. Let them go.
But, Jay, what did the mayor say? What did the mayor say? It's like losing a kidney if you lose the Bears.
Well, it is, but that's the situation Chicago put themselves in. I mean, they screwed this up. I'm sorry, they screwed this up 20 years ago. And I don't understand her tactic politically because she's gonna take the fall for it. But if I was, I'd be saying, I didn't do this. This was daily. I didn't do this. Don't do this on me. But it is what it is. Before we get out of here, we got to ask you about Justin Fields. What are you hoping to see in his development, and how do you think this new coaching staff is going to try to use his skills?
I think the next step in his development is to better understand what happens to him post-snap. He's to the point now where he understands what's happening to him pre-snap, right, and what he wants to do with the ball. That next step in his development is going to say, okay, what happens when I read man and they drop zone on me? Or I read a zone and they bring a blitz. They bring some type of dog, and it's like, okay, how does he respond? How quickly can he decipher what he sees post-snap and then find the answer? I think that's the next step in his development. As far as what the coaching staff is going to do, they have better use his abilities, right? Let him do what he does. Get him out on the edge. Let him move. Let him throw on the run. He made some exceptional throws on the run last year. And so while he's kind of, still developing as a pocket passer and learning a new system, allow him to use his athleticism to where he can get out of trouble on his own when he needs to. And so get him out on the edge, utilize the running game again. They're going to have that outside zone. You get Dave Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, maybe even Treston Nebner kind of going. Now you can stretch that thing all the way out and then pull it, let him boot around. You get the tight end out there, you can get the fullback out there, or you can just let him make a play with his feet. And so utilize his abilities. Don't try, if the kid's a Ferrari, then drive a Ferrari. Don't make him a minivan. It don't make sense. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. And so let him do what he does, utilize his strengths, and I think that's how you'll get the best Justin Fields.
Herb, tell us a little bit before you go. Tell us about the bigs. You all just added someone, if I'm not mistaken, to the team too.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to the bigs. Bigs founded by Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. I want to say 2014. We cover all of the pro teams here in Chicago. We do prep. Cubs, Sox, Bulls, Bears. And you're right, we did just add someone to the team. Shout out to Jada. She is now on the beat with the Chicago Sky. She's doing phenomenal work over there. And so we just can continue to grow, continue to expand, continue to bring Chicago sports coverage at a high quality level and do the very best we can. We all Chicago kids, and we got a passion for it. And, we just try to do it at the highest level possible. And so you can follow us at It's the Bigs. You can follow me, too, at Herb Howard 411. But you can follow us at It's the Bigs. And, we're just going to keep on pushing and doing what we do.
And the Chicago Sky will be playing the Las Vegas Aces tomorrow in the Commissioner's Cup. We're reaching out to Jada. We know she's just getting her feet wet and started there with the Sky and her official duty. So we're giving her a little time. But we're definitely going to have her on What's Up Cuz here in a couple weeks as well. Because the Sky is, to be honest, right now, that's the best damn team we got in Chicago.
21-7 right now.
Now they balling, man. They defending champs. They balling, and they're gonna hit their stride and see if they can go back to back.
But that game against the Aces will be a dandy tomorrow. That's all I'm gonna say. The Aces playing good too.
Well, thank you so much, Herb. Thank you so much for joining us. And good luck, man. And take some aspirin with you because you got a hell of a season you got to cover, brother.
Hey, we'll be up at Hallis Hall tomorrow. The players already reported, so we'll be up there for the press conferences at 10 a.m. and it'll just go to the end of the season from there. But looking forward to it, man. It's an absolute pleasure. But y'all, thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure being on here with y'all. Look forward to doing it again sometime.
And we appreciate you dressing up for the occasion, Herb. That was nice.
Hey, man, congratulations to y'all, man. I turned it on. Y'all was talking to the mayor. I had to take my hoodie off and say, let me get myself together. Let me get myself together a little bit. You know what I mean? So, no, it's good to be on.
Herb Howard, everybody from the Beast. Thanks, Herb. All right, Lance, that is it for show number 2 in season number 3, or show number 1 in season number 3. We just want to take the time to thank everyone who has tuned in with us from the very beginning throughout these first 2 years. We're getting ready to start this 3rd season. We thought we had something good here. We were not positive how the public would receive it, but we appreciated the concept. And Lance and I just want to really, again, sincerely thank Sean and Maya for believing in us, for giving us this platform to do what we do every Monday night. And it's been a blast to be able to do something with my cousin and just to see how he's grown and doing this. And the first show, he's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, so you might have to take the lead. But I mean, look at him. He's got a suit. He got a new background. I don't know what type of monster did I create here.
You created one. And, Jay, it's always happy when you can do stuff with family, like we said, Rodney Billups. So, man, I appreciate you helping me navigate some of the landmines I was going through. So, it's happy to be on Jay year 3 and be better than year 1 and 2. We're looking forward to having some great guests. Our man Tony Alford, associate head coach from The Ohio State University. Talking football next week, cuz he'll be on the show. But, man, shout out to everybody who's following us and watching the show, cuz.
Yeah, so you all be sure to tune in next week. We got more guests, and then a week after that, more guests, and then we got Io the Sumo coming on, I believe, sometime in August. I know we've been promising this interview, but we got Io the Sumo coming on. We got Tim Hardaway coming on pretty soon again. We got Brad Doherty coming on. We got a lot of good stuff coming up here in the coming weeks. So just stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter and all our other social media platforms. So, for my cousin Lancey Irvin, for Sean Sierra, for our substitute producer tonight, Maurice Bledsoe, who did a great job. Thank you all so much. Happy birthday to What's Up, Cuz, and we will see you all next week.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise. High as the listening skies, let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. We will march on till victory. We will march on till victory. Let us march on till victory. Hey.